So over the past few videos of mine where we did 2-digit area model, 2-digit partial products, 2-digit traditional, the 2x1s, now we're going to take a day where we are going to focus on if I was doing 3 digits by 1. So we're going to use the same concepts, just apply it to a larger number. This time we are going to have the hundreds. So I'm going to follow the same pattern that we did before. We're going to start with the area model. The first thing we need to do with the area model is we need to expand out my 235. So if I'm looking at the 2 in 235, what is that worth? That's not a 2, it is 200. Okay? Next I'm going to look at the 3. That is not a 3, what is that? That is 30. And then in my ones place I have a 5, so I'm going to put a 5. Now, all this is getting multiplied by 8. Okay, so in my first box, I'm focusing on 200 times 8. So I'm going to do 200 times 8. I'm going to look at these facts right here. So I have 200s 8 times. So 2 times 8 gives me 16, so 200s. But because I'm talking about hundreds, I have to add those 2 zeros in there. Okay? So 200 times 8 is 1600 or 1600. My next multiplication fact is the 30 times 8. Okay, so I can look at this as 3 tens times 8. So the 3 tens times 8 gives me 24 tens. And because I'm talking about 24 tens, I have to add that 0 to the end. Now to multiply my ones, I have 8 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. So what you're going to do now is we have all these partial products. What do we do with partial products? We add them up. So I have a little bit of space here. I'm going to line it up. I'm going to do my 1600. I'm going to do my 240 plus my 40. Okay, so adding my ones, I have 0. I have 8 tens. I have 8 hundreds, and I have 1,000. So 1,880. Now we're going to go and we're going to do partial products up here. So my problem was 235 times 8. Okay? And then you don't get to see the connection here. So we are going to focus on starting with our hundreds. I have 2 hundreds, so I'm going to put 200 times 8. Oh, doesn't that look very similar here? 200 times 8. So I focus on the basic facts. So I have 2 hundreds times 8. So 8 times 8 is the 6, gives me the 16. But because it's 16 hundreds, I have to add 2 zeros to the end. So my next multiplication problem, I'm going to focus on my tens. I have 3 tens there, which is 30. And I'm going to do 30 times 8. Again, looking at the basic fact here, I have 3 tens times 8. 3 tens times 8 gives me 24, but because it's tens, I add the zeros, so it's 240. And then I'm going to do my 5 times 8, which gives me 40. Okay? So I am going to add my ones, which is 0. Tens gives me 8. My hundreds gives me 8. And my thousands gives me 1. Oh, I'm headed in the right direction. I have the same product for both. Now I'm going to focus on the traditional. So I'm going to do 235 times 8. Okay? Now remember with traditional, we are going to start with our ones because you may have to bring over tens or bring over hundreds or bring over thousands. So you have to start in those ones, that one place, in order to be able to do that. So I have 8 times 5, which is 40. Well, 40 is made up of 4 tens and 0 ones, so I'm going to leave my 0 for my ones down here, and I'm going to bring my 4 tens up. Okay? So I have 3 tens times 8. That would give me 24 tens, but we can't forget that I have an extra 4, so that actually gives me 28 tens. So I'm going to leave these 8 tens here, and 28 tens actually gives me 2 hundreds. Okay, so I'm going to put that 2 above the hundreds place. Now I have 2 hundreds times 8. The 2 times 8, which is 16, so 2 hundreds times 8 is going to give me 16, but don't forget I have 2 more hundreds, so I have 18 hundreds. So all 3 products match. My final answer, well, my product, is 1,880. So same thing that we were doing with 2 digits, we are now doing with 3 digits, putting it all together. And you can easily check to make sure that you did it right if all of the answers match.